All right, I'm super excited to be here with my man, the owner, the CEO, founder of Hostage Tape.
They're making a no strip on, no ego, no pride, no entitlement.
But for our audience, for those that don't know you, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your brand, how it started, where the idea came from, and kind of walk us through where you're at now and where you're headed.
My name is Alex Nice. I'm the founder of Hostage Tape. And really the idea came from snoring ripped my family apart and it led to divorce. But now years later, my wife and I are back together. I snored so bad that it pushed my wife into the other bedroom. And so at that time I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I become better? And my history is I was a high level athlete my whole life. And our coaches never taught us the right way to breathe. So when I went down this rabbit hole of discovering how do I become better, I started with sleep. And what I found was that it all came down to how I was breathing, and it was mouth breathing. So when I discovered that mouth breathing was my issue again, I was like, wait a minute, how did I not know about this? So then I started to experiment with mouth taping. And when I mouth tape for the first time, I think like everybody, when you do it, you're anxious, you're afraid, like, wait a minute, am I gonna wake up? Am I gonna die if I do this? When I did it, I woke up the next day and I felt like a teenager. I couldn't believe how much energy that I had. So when I woke up and I had that experience, I knew as an entrepreneur, I've got my next business. Because I knew that if we could take this concept that was life-changing, it's so simple and easy, but if we created a really cool brand around it, something that was so interesting, and it really catered to men, right? This 25 to 50-year-old men, I knew we would have something very Liquid Death-like, right? So I knew that having an interesting brand was the key to this whole thing, right? Because we're selling, tape, right? Granted, it's a very specific kind of tape, a mouth tape, right? Now what you're seeing here is this is our second product. We have our primary mouth tape that's worn during sleep, and then we've got our nose strip that helps open up the nose, right, to encourage nasal breathing. So I knew that, like, all right, hostage tape. Most people think, why would you call it hostage tape? That's probably what everybody's thinking when they see this. And it really comes down to this. We're tapping into this core emotion that people feel. People feel held hostage by either their partner or poor sleep, and they don't know what to do, right? And also, yes, you do kind of look like a hostage when you've got this tape on your mouth, right? That's the obvious. And so we knew that, all right, you're scrolling through Instagram and you're gonna see hostage tape, you're gonna go, what the f is that, right? It's gonna get your attention, you're gonna stop, you're gonna remember it. And now at this point, we launched this brand about 2 years ago. We are now the largest, most popular mouth tape brand in the world. So much so that, like just the other day, Joe Rogan had a guest on, and the guy was talking about mouth taping. And when he mentioned mouth taping, Joe Rogan immediately went, oh, are you using hostage tape? So we're synonymous now with mouth taping worldwide, that the first brand that comes to, people like Joe Rogan's mind is hostage tape. So I'm pretty proud that we've gotten it to this point so fast. But I'll say though, it might look like we've gotten to where we are in 2 years, but I mean, all of this success it's previous 16 years of experience, right? 16 years of this other business, these other failures of us going through and learning how to do this. And then now we know the playbook. We know the playbook of how to take all this, launch this brand, and then we know exactly where we need to go with it.
Can you dig in a little bit more to these breathing machines? Now everybody seems to be using these breathing machines to sleep with. It seems like it's a pain in the ass. You got to wear this thing, strap it on your head, sleep all night with it, And I feel like every time I turn around, someone's calling me about that and they're using it, and it's sort of mixed. Like 50% of the people say it works, 50% say it sucks. But just the idea of having to put a machine on your head to sleep, it's like a lot, right? So is this once and for all the solution to that?
So what you're referring to is called a CPAP
Right.
machine. And so what happens is what most people do is they'll go in and look at a sleep study done from a doctor, and most doctors will immediately say, here, we're gonna put you on a CPAP. And yes, there is a portion of the population that a CPAP is necessary. It's absolutely needed, because really what's happening is, let's say you're overweight and you have this extra weight that's pushing down on your airways. You need a CPAP to push air through your nose to help create positive pressure so that you can get the air you need, right? But for the people who aren't overweight, you probably don't need a CPAP, right? It might just be shutting your mouth and actually using your nose to breathe. So CPAPs are great. They're absolutely useful. And in order for a CPAP to work really well, you have to keep your mouth shut. So we actually have a very large amount of customers who are CPAP wearers. They're also wearing hostage tape because it helps the machine actually work better, right? But they have their place. They absolutely have their place. But I know a lot of people who wear it, they hate it because you've got all these cords, these hoses everywhere. It's super uncomfortable.
And it's loud, right?
It's super loud. And then when you travel, you got to take it with you, and it's just super annoying.
Yeah,
So
it seems like
it's not fun at all.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. So now do you recommend that people wear the mouth tape and the nose tape when they're sleeping now that you have this second product? Is that for night?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
So when you're sleeping at night, right, if you're wearing the nose tape, it's gonna help open up the nose. So absolutely, like I'll wear the nose tape at night along with my mouth tape, right? And my wife will actually say, when you wear your nose strip, I don't even hear you at all. So I'll have to like look to make sure, are you still alive, right? But so I'll wear a nose strip when I sleep, and I also wear it when I work out. So there's 2 times during the day that I'll wear this guy.
All right, I have to start wearing this thing. How long did it take you to develop this product?
So I would say certainly mouth taping and nose strips, they're not a new concept, right? We just took this concept and we made it really cool and really sexy. But in that product development, I would say it probably took us around 6 months to perfect the adhesive and the specific of the product itself. So it definitely took a decent amount of time. And then once we found it and we perfected it, I think we really got product market fit, and it's really, the mouth tape especially is what's really taken off.
How has your relationship with the Elliott Group helped your brand move forward, and do you feel like their culture is a good fit for your product?
I tell you what, the culture of the Elliott Group is 100% match for like, it's the kind of people who, they want to continue to get better. They want to continue to work on themselves. And so meeting Andy and Jackie and just everybody here, I think what's funny is a lot of the guys that worked here started to use hostage tape, and then everybody started to use it, and then Andy and Jackie were like, wait a minute, why is everybody wearing all this stuff? What is all this? So then it infiltrated the whole, building, and then Aaron's been using it. Aaron's a huge proponent of our mouth tape, so I think then they were like, okay, I think there's something interesting here. And then it was a natural fit of the Elliott Group and this hostage brand, just they match so well together, right? And just the way that he portrays the brand just fits. Like, we're very polarizing. Andy's very polarizing. So you put 2 very polarizing brands together, right? And you got magic.
Absolutely. Who would you say is your biggest competition?
Our biggest competition, so when it comes to mouth tape, 3M. 3M just makes surgical tape, right? Or medical tape. That's our biggest competition there. When it comes to a nose strip, Breathe Right is the elephant in the room. And really they were the inspiration. We said, all right, we're gonna take a Breathe Right. That got really popular like in the 80s and 90s, like Jerry Rice and the NFL back in the day. But they look really ugly, right? They look like a Band-Aid on your nose. So we said, we're gonna take a Breathe Right and we're gonna make it look cool.
How long before you came to market with your product after your first development?
Yeah, so I would say it took us anywhere from maybe like 6 to 8 months where we were developing the product, creating the business, doing all the foundation, right? And then once we had it, it was March 4th, 2 years ago. We launched it on Shopify, our website, and that's when it all started. And then we did 6 figures our first year, and then in the second year, this last year, we did 8 figures.
Amazing. Where can everyone buy this other than your website? Is it sold?
So we are only sold on the website. You can buy the nose strips on Amazon. You can't currently buy the mouth tape on Amazon. It was temporarily on Amazon, but it's primarily all sold on hostagetape.com.
What's your primary client base?
So the demographic. So our primary demographic, really, it's 25 to 50-year-olds, 75% men, and 25% female.
Crazy.
No, well, I think there's 2 things. There's 2 reasons. One is we purposely branded this very masculine, right? So it's very masculine, very manly, very rugged, right? Doesn't necessarily appeal to most women. And secondly is, yeah, most statistics say that men are the ones who have snoring issues. They're sleeping with their mouths open. They're the ones with most of the problems, right? Sleep issues. So we do actually have we're doing a female drop very soon here. So we're taking what we did, we've softened it up just a little bit, and we're gonna do a different color, and we're gonna see how that goes. But so far, all the women that we've asked really like it, so we'll see.
Can you tell us what the color will be?
It's going to be a soft pink, a very.
I was gonna say pink.
It's a very.
I was about to ask earlier if it comes in pink.
It's a very soft pink, not a hot pink, but a very soft, more elegant.
I have a feeling some dudes will use the pink one too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
At all.
Obviously, you used to come to these, right? Prior to launch
Never.
the
I've never been to these. So Andy discovered the product from his team. We spent a lot of money. We spend mid six figures a month on Facebook advertising, right? And so just because the brand is out there so much and everybody has been hearing about us now and knows that mouth taping, that's hostage tape. I think that's how this team discovered us, just because of all the marketing. And then Andy, obviously, okay, this is interesting. This meshes really well with us.
Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.